All right, hello everyone. I realize that I've been derelict in my duties of making videos and sharing my experiences with everyone. So I'm going to try something a little bit different, a little bit of a different format, and do a walking vlog. Hopefully I can keep this up weekly because it'll be easier to edit and just talk about some of the things that I've done, some of the cool stuff that happened to me throughout the week. Right now I'm on my way to the grocery store, but I'm taking sort of a circuitous route. I've never been down this particular road before, so hopefully I don't get lost. Yeah. Also, I've got some notes here to try and cut down on the rambling, although it's me, so there will definitely be rambling. So let's begin. Sunday morning. Right now it's about 8:30. I've been up since 6 a.m. and Japan has really turned me into a morning person. The reason for that being that here today at 4:26 a.m. Tokyo time was sunrise, and sunset today will be 6:50 p.m. Which is kind of early for like late spring, almost summer. To give a comparison, back home on the East Coast, sunrise is 5:27 a.m., so about an hour after it is here, and sunset is 8:19. So in order to get the most sunlight possible, I've sort of adapted to being a morning person, which means that I get up at 6 a.m. and it is the worst. It's actually not so bad because I'm used to it now, but I think in my mind I'm like, ugh, 6 a.m., who wants to get up that early? And sometimes I get up even earlier, and it's just, I just kind of naturally wake up at that time. But I do get to take advantage of the sunlight, which is nice. Okay, moving on. Yesterday was sports day at both of the elementary schools I teach at, and I went to one, and it was really cool. It was a very different sort of experience. So today's Sunday, yesterday was Saturday, and it was basically sort of like a full day for the teachers and the students. The opening ceremony was at 8:30 a.m. and the thing didn't end until like 2:30, and then they all had to do cleanup and stuff. So it was pretty much a full day for everyone. And that happens a couple times a year here in Japan, where they will have either events or some classes on a Saturday. So it's not an every week thing. I don't even know if it happens every month, but it is not uncommon for special events and some classes to be on a Saturday. But sports day here is like super serious, even in elementary school. I remember when I was in elementary school, we had field day. But field day was definitely not on a Saturday. It was usually just during the week, and it was usually just for like a couple of hours where we'd go out and we'd, compete and run and do relays and stuff like that. But here it's super serious. You've got everything from races to choreographed dances. So there was an event where I think it was the first and second graders were trying to throw little like beanbag things into a basket on a pole, and that was cool, and they were really bad at it, but it was still fun to watch. And so anyway, so this is a big to-do here. The kids were practicing the choreographed dances and stuff for weeks before the sports day, and the parents were all there with like blankets, and some of them had their own like tents or like canopies and stuff, and coolers full of food, and it was just like, it's a much bigger deal than I think you'd find in the US. And then afterwards there was a teachers party, basically a celebration of successfully completing sports day, because, you know, it's stressful for the person who's organizing the day. He's got to like make sure all the kids know everything, and got to make sure all the events go smoothly and stuff like that. So for the teacher in charge of sports day, who's like the PE teacher, it's a big deal, and thus they have a party once it is done. So I went out to the party, and basically, as with sort of most teacher party type things, it was a two-part event. The first part of the party was at a nice restaurant, and we had it was very Japanese sort of style. You sat on the floor on little cushions, and on tatami mats, and we had several courses. There was sashimi, tempura, and some other dishes. There was like boiling water that you cooked meat and vegetables and stuff with. So it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. And then the second party was at a bar, right? So it's like the first party is sort of the respectable, we give some toasts and everyone has a good time. Second party is at a bar, and everybody just sort of cuts loose. And I'm going to stop filming now because I'm actually going to enter the grocery store and do my grocery shopping. But when I come out, I will resume. All right, so I'm back. I'm out of the store, got my haul of veggies and natto, and I don't even know what else I got, but yogurt. Yes, I started eating a lot of yogurt here because it's easy and cheap. Anyhoozle. So I was talking about the teacher's party after sports day, and I gotta say it's nice being invited to things like that because it lets you know that you're kind of an accepted member of the community, which is what I'm after. And interacting with Japanese people and getting to know them is really cool. The language barrier, whilst still a problem, you know, is not actually a huge deal at these sort of parties and stuff like that. At least not for me, because mostly you can use a combination of like your crappy Japanese, or I should say I can use my crappy Japanese, and the teachers can use what English they know, and we can use pictures on our cell phones and gestures, and we can actually talk about a lot of really interesting stuff. For example, I found out that one of my teachers makes soba noodles, which is a Japanese style of noodle made out of buckwheat, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, we were able to have a conversation about him making soba noodles, and he was able to tell me basically that, you know, things like temperature and humidity affect, you know, the ability to make the noodles. And I also found out that Hitachiota, which is a neighboring city to the west, is famous for soba noodles. Like apparently throughout all of Japan, the soba noodles in Hitachiota are the best. And that was something cool. That was something that I didn't know, and that was a conversation that we were able to have at this party. You know, some other things I talked about with the teachers was Japanese movies. You know, what sort of movies do I like? And I was talking to one teacher, and he was like, you know, what movies have you seen? And I thought he was talking about live action movies, and I don't think I've seen many Japanese live action movies, at least none that come to mind. But I talked to him about an anime movie called Summer Wars, and he was like, oh yeah, Summer Wars. I showed him a picture of the Summer Wars DVD on my cell phone, and he was like, yeah, Summer Wars, I really like that movie. It's a great movie. And so we were able to have a conversation about Summer Wars and other sort of like anime movies that he liked and that I liked and stuff like that. And again, it was a cool interaction. Maybe it wasn't you know, it wasn't as smooth as it would have been if I had spoke fluent Japanese or he had spoke fluent English, but it was still really cool. I talked, interestingly enough, with one of the teachers, actually it was the principal, about Thomas Edison. I don't know how we got on the subject. This was at the bar, so we had had a couple drinks, and we were talking about Thomas Edison for some reason, because the principal really liked the quote, which is genius is 99% perspiration and 1% inspiration, something to that effect, right? And we were talking about the differences in perspiration and inspiration. I was trying to explain how perspiration and inspiration are similar sounding words. So there's that. Oh, we're at a busy intersection, so I'm gonna cut this off for just a moment. All right, I'm back for the third time. Here we go. So anyways, so, you know, even though I'm a little apprehensive to use my Japanese sometimes because I don't want to say something wrong and offend anybody, I'm still able to have really interesting conversations with people through a combination of Japanese, English, gestures, pictures, things like that. And it's still fun, and that's the kind of interaction that I want, and I hope that I can have more of those sort of interactions in the future. Today I'm going bowling with some of the other ALTs. It's one guy's birthday. We hang out fairly regularly, so you know, I engage with, you know, Japanese people, but I also get to spend some time with other foreigners and talk in English and stuff like that, so that's nice. I hope that everyone is doing well, and I will talk to you guys next week, maybe, if I'm not lazy. Bye-bye! Look at this. Oh my God, this thing's planting. Rice at the yin yang, the yang of the yang.